Hi, Father Marshall Shelley here at St. Peter's Episcopal Church. I am updating you all on life, the ministry, and the mission of St. Peter's as we do our bit here in Spotswood. Very excited to share with you what's happening in the life of Christ this week. We've been very busy this past week. We've had quite a few opportunities to care for each other. And we've been busy with our daily offices as well as some pastoral calls. We lost two members of our parish, one member of our extended parish family, one a longtime member of this parish this past week, and we're holding them in our hearts and prayers as we continue to move forward and serve their families and their friends as we mourn their loss but celebrate their life in Christ. So we remember Pete Zinchuk and Stephen Grams. We are getting ready for Sunday. This is a pretty busy Sunday for us this coming Sunday, September 26th. We have two services at 8 a.m. and 10 a.m. And we're also arranging a parish meeting that will probably be on Zoom. We're going to send out the link for that, especially in an e-news blast to you all for that, inviting folks to partake and participate in the election of representatives from our parish to a convocation meeting October 24th that will elect two members of our convocation. That's members of the churches of Middlesex County and Southern Union County here in the Diocese of New Jersey to serve on the Bishop's Search Committee. This committee will then look for and raise up candidates to be the next bishop of the Diocese of New Jersey, number 13 in our diocesan succession. So we're looking forward to that, as well as to the other opportunities we have to seek and serve Christ in all persons while we love our neighbors as ourselves. Coming into the last weekend of September, we are also looking towards October 3rd as our celebration of the Feast of St. Francis, and we'll be blessing animal companions on that day. As well, we're going to have a special coffee hour fellowship in between the services that will celebrate and mark our attempt to begin and resume our Sunday school and formation ministries. Look for more information on that next week. We look forward to welcoming you to that. Finally, we are excited that we are still waiting for approval from, but hopefully getting soon, permission from Spotswood to start work on adding new ADA-compliant bathrooms to our church parish hall, and we're going to keep you posted on that. There will be a closure of the thrift shop for that during November. That's when we're hoping to open the walls and start the construction and the demo and construction and make that happen. So all of that's going on in the Life of Christ, as well as men's fellowship breakfast on October 2nd. And, of course, we're looking towards the women's fellowship as well, the fourth Saturday of October. So a lot going on in the life and mission and ministry of Christ. I want to take a minute to talk to you all about our word for the week. The word for the week, and I've been chewing on this one for a while, if you will, is morsel. This coming Sunday, we are hearing about the people of Israel in the book of Numbers as they travel in the wilderness, and they are feeling the grief and the loss of what they experienced in their memory as plenty in the land of Egypt. They were given food and supplies so that they could survive and subsist as corvée laborers, government contract laborers. They were given provisions and expected to work. But now they're in the desert. They're living off of manna and water from the rock and the occasional quail. It isn't quite enough to fill that desire, that appetite, their want. And so they feel like they're going hungry. They're going for want in desire for the things that they had in Egypt. Things like leeks and garlic, and they had fish in abundance, as well as opportunity to drink beer from their daily rations. The thing is that all of that food that they had in Egypt was effectively slave food. The food of the rich and free and upper class Egyptians, the pork, the beef, the lamb, all the things that we would think of as feasting foods, they don't have access to. They could fish, they could trap waterfowl. They actually, in those days, we know they ate a lot of duck from the banks of the Nile, as well as the fish. And really that was what they had access to. So this wasn't a great diet, but it was probably better than they were experiencing in the desert, whereas the desert was subsistence of literally bread and water, but it was the bread from heaven. It was water from God's own provision. And oftentimes when we're in positions where we feel a little overwhelmed by life, we can feel like the things that we used to enjoy have been left behind. We feel the want over and against having need met. And it's hard, it's difficult. We beg for and plead for that one last little tidbit, that one mouthful of food that we used to have when we felt there was a sense of plenty, that morsel. In fact, the word morsel is the word for the week. Morsel is literally a bit, a mouthful, a tidbit. It goes back to an old French and Latin word that means to chew on that little element left in a meal, a bite. And sometimes we find ourselves yearning for that last morsel, the morsel of that feast that we now are missing. Sometimes that can be an actual feast, a meal that was really good that we want to have more of. Sometimes that can be a little tidbit of a leftover memory or wanting once again to have a little bit more time with someone we love. Because we've been bereaved and we've had some losses, just finished a funeral a little while ago, in fact, we beg for those morsels in our lives where we have one more moment with someone we love but see no longer. And oftentimes we get caught up in a sense of scarcity and we forget that, a morsel can be actually a celebration of abundance. That last little tidbit, that memory of that flavor can be the thing to give thanks for and really rejoice in, because we had it. We had that moment. We had that moment with our loved one. We had that meal with that one we really enjoyed our company with. So I'm going to urge you to think about the morsels in your life and give thanks for those. Not the big, huge feasts that we are too often have come to expect in our lives, but instead those little tiny tidbits that make all the difference in the world for us in our walk in faith. And particularly as we move forward into this season of stewardship, when we are considering our commitments to the church and to the other opportunities we have to offer our treasure, our time, our talents in the coming year, think about those morsels that you're going to render up. God doesn't ask for much from us. That little morsel can mean the difference for your church, for your community, between want and loss. So take it into heart. Take it up there. Think about those morsels and how you can maybe share a few with a friend and give thanks for the opportunity you have to celebrate abundance. Take care and God bless. Bye-bye.